India, navigating the Indian Ocean since 2000 BCE. The Indian Ocean Collection from Indic Inspirations. The Rig Veda has one of the earliest mentions of oceanic voyage in the world, mentioning a marine voyage undertaken by Prince Bujiu, where he is saved by seafarers who used a ship with 100 oars. Early knowledge of astronomy, geography, and meteorology made Indians the earliest seafarers. Knowledge of Dhruvatara, the twin stars, the monsoon winds, and the geography of the coast ignited the adventurers to seafaring. The Harappans were the earliest seafarers in the world, using the coasting method of navigation to sail the Makran coast and the Persian Gulf. Dholavira and Lothal are the world's first ports and coastal towns, with well-planned management of docking, loading, and unloading of ships and merchandise. The Mauryas, from 322 to 185 BCE, administered the areas between and including the west and east coasts. The Arthashastra of Kautilya describes the duties of the Navadhyaksa, the superintendent of ships, and custom duties on various merchandise. Nala Sopara on the west coast was a major trading port for goods from and to places like Mesopotamia, Egypt, Cochin, Arabia, and Eastern Africa. The Kalingas, in the 3rd century BCE, established footholds in Malaya, Sumatra, and western Java. They traveled to Indochina and throughout Southeast Asia, introducing their culture, which is still prominently seen in the region. The old traditions are still celebrated in Odisha through the annual Bali Yatra, or Boita Bandhana festival around Kartik Purnima. When Rome ruled the Western world, the Satavahanas, from 2nd century BCE to 3rd century CE, ruled the Deccan, and trade between India and Rome was brisk and voluminous. Stitched ship, INSV Kaundinya, commemorates the 4th century CE shipbuilding traditions. Ships were stitched together, plank by plank with coir, and bound by resin gum. The IXI pattern is used to stitch the planks together. Yukti Kalpataru. This shipbuilding manual, written by Raja Bhoj in the 9th century CE, gave detailed instructions for the building of river and ocean-going ships.
Indians were master shipbuilders.
The Chalukyas, from 500 to 753 CE. The Persian prince Chosroas II sent an embassy to the court of Pulakesi II by sea, via the Persian Gulf to Chalukyan ports. The most prominent trade guild that traded around Southeast Asia was Ayavolu, also known as the Aihole 500. Cholas, from 300 BCE to 1279 CE. Rajaraja Chola and Rajendra Chola I extended the Chola kingdom influence from the island of Sri to Indochina and Southeast Asia. Chola navies invaded and conquered Srivijaya to enforce maritime trade ethics and agreements.
The Marathas continued naval traditions on the west coast in the 17th to 19th centuries.
Sindhudurg, Vijayadurg, and other sea forts were built by Shivaji and Kanhoji Angre to defend the coasts. The Gurabs and Galavats, agile ships and boats built by Kanhoji Angre, defeated the British and Portuguese in battle.
The shipbuilding and seafaring created
Trade and legacy. Exports of ancient India
included
cotton yarn and cloth, muslins, indigo, coconuts, sandal, teakwood, sesame oil, and ivory, and imports included gold, silver and copper, horses, and wine. Indian independence and the naval mutiny. The real reason for the British relinquishing the jewel in the crown, India, was the naval mutiny in Bombay in 1946.
After independence, India has continued its naval traditions, recently with new vigor, building out new ports and ships.
The major bases of the Indian Navy are located at Mumbai, Goa, Karwar, Kochi, Chennai, Vishakhapatnam, Kolkata, and Port Blair. The Indian Navy has about 150 ships and submarines, with more than 50 ships and submarines under construction. India has 13 major and 205 minor and intermediate ports. Under Sagarmala, 6 new megaports will be developed in the country. 95% of trading by volume and 70% by value is done by sea.
To celebrate India's seafaring traditions, Indic Inspirations is proud to introduce the Indian Ocean Collection.
Indic Inspirations Ode to India's Maritime Heritage, honoring India's seafarers.
The collection includes Indian Ocean Formation, Pangea Magnetic Puzzle, Marine Life, Olive Ridley Turtle Keychain, India, Maritime History of 4 Millennia Map, India's Maritime History Map Mug, Ancient Stitched Ship Model, 12-inch Scale Model, 5th Century CE Stitched Ship, Wooden Frame, Ancient Stitched Ship Mug, Stitched Ship T-shirt, Deep Sea Diver in the Indian Ocean Kinetic Mobile, Indian Navy Flag and Maritime History Fridge Magnets, INS Vikrant 1 is to 1000 scale model, Shipping Container, Pens and Biz Cards Holder, Mumbai, the Big Port Jigsaw Puzzle. India's maritime legacy is the richest in the world and spread culture and science around the world. Let's celebrate India's maritime history, the Indian Ocean Collection, celebrating India's maritime legacy.